Live from Thornbury Creek at Oneida, this is Locker Room with Local 5 Sports Director Bert Griffin. Now your host, Bert Griffin.
The bye week is in the books, and the second half of the season is set to begin as the Packers renew their rivalry with the Bears on Sunday, with hopes of getting their first divisional win in the NFC North. And now the stretch run to the playoffs officially begin with that road trip to Chicago. Get ready for another edition of Locker Room.
Good evening and welcome to a packed house at Thornbury Creek Golf Course at Oneida for another edition of Locker Room. Gotta love it. Coming off the bye week, the Packers have 8 games left on the schedule, 4 away, 4 at home, and the first one on the road is within the division against the Chicago Bears. It should be fun. We'll talk more about that with Packer defensive back Eric Stokes in just a moment. But first, how about another DB who knows a thing or two about playing in the green and gold? Former Super Bowl champion Jared Bush, everybody.
What's up, Bert?
What's up, buddy?
Man, good. You're fantastic. Fantastic crowd here today.
I know, festive.
Yeah,
You would think this is like a Christmas type and like Thanksgiving crowd.
For sure.
Come on out.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday nights, a couple
Yeah.
Mondays in here. We'll tell you when those are. But
Yeah.
Packer football 6-3, second half of the season is starting up. And things, look, they lost to the Lions, big deal.
Right.
At this point, 8 games to go. They control their own destiny because they play Chicago, they play Minnesota, they play Detroit. These are teams that, if they take care of their own business, they're not only in the playoffs, they might win another division and host a home game.
Yeah, for sure, Bert. I think they definitely have control of that in that helm to control the destiny. I think first thing first, I think they need to make sure they have a healthy quarterback, especially going through that ringer of division rivals, and then make their presence be known. I think Caleb Williams, I don't think they're too tough of a test. But going to Detroit, I think is going to be another test.
Yeah.
And so I definitely feel that it's with Minnesota. So they have their work cut out for them. But I really want to make sure that that defense and the offense is, most importantly, Jordan Love, make sure that they're healthy.
Well, and look, you mentioned that because Malik Willis has done an amazing job filling in.
No question.
And Matt LaFleur has designed things around him.
Yeah.
But he's proven that he can get the job done.
For sure.
Is it sustainable over a 17-game season? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Point is, a healthy Jordan Love, who's now had a knee injury, he's had a groin injury, still battling through some stuff, but he still makes those plays. And I know people wanted to say he's this hybrid of Brett Favre. No, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. No, he's his own guy, isn't he?
Right, definitely. Cool as a cucumber, Bert. I would like to see a little bit more of a ferociousness, I guess. But maybe it may not be his game. But I would like to see at least the eye of the tiger, if you know what I mean. And I feel like every quarterback with Brett and A-Rod, I feel like at some point during the season had that look, that killer assassin to go out there and take over the game.
We'll talk about this more with Eric Stokes in a moment. Real quick, 4-3 defense, Jeff Hafley, have we made too much of it, or do you like what you see 9 games in?
I love what I'm seeing, Burke. I love it because, I mean, as defensive back, I see the ball coming out loose. I see picks. I see, I feel like some of the games I feel like they've become a little passive, but overall in the stats, you cannot ignore those numbers, Burke, and I love it. They're in the top 5. I would like to see a little bit more blitzing, but at the same time, the numbers speak for themselves.
All right, time now for our pivotal performance powered by local IBEW 158. Just like we did a few weeks ago, we're going a little out of the box on this one.
Yeah.
Brian Gutekunst. We gave it to Matt LaFleur for the job he did coaching up Malik Willis on short notice, very short notice. But bringing in Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, 2 free agents, upgrading in a position, not afraid to pull the trigger and go out and get guys.
Yeah.
And look, we saw him trade Preston Smith this week.
Yep.
Good move for Preston. He's with a playoff type of team at Pittsburgh. But Brian Gutekunst with the off-season free agent moves, he's our pivotal performance powered by local IBEW 158. These 2 guys have been difference makers on each side of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Jacobs, let's just start with him. I'm just running angry at the ball. I'm able to make every cut. Screen game, he can catch the ball in the backfield and as well as punch the ball into the red zone. To be able to alleviate pressure from Jordan Love, phenomenal. Let's go back with Xavier McKinney. Defensive Player of the Year, I think, nominee in my book, as well as the captain, saying all the right things, as well as in the locker room, keeping everybody together. And most importantly, I love what he's talked about when we had him on the show here, Bert, that he talked about he meets with the defensive coordinator. I thought that was phenomenal. Just be on the same page on how I'm picking his brain.
And those guys in the past, there were 4 or 5 of them that are gone from last season, all good dudes. They've done our show before, from Adrian Amos on down. But there's a different level in that defensive backfield. And guess what? Tonight, we're going to talk more about that with one of those guys playing in the secondary. Eric Stokes is in the house, everybody. He's coming up when we come back on Locker Room. Welcome back to Locker Room right here at Thornberry Creek at Oneida. We're at the golf course, and oh, by the way, a absolutely packed house. Before you give it up for this guy over here, a big round of applause for all those veterans sitting over there on the side. Thank you, veterans. Big round of applause for those guys. And ladies, and everyone else who has served this magnificent country. Go ahead, keep it going. Packers defensive back, Eric Stokes, everyone.
Let him know.
What's up, dude?
No, we two.
6-3, bye week, time off, first real break since July before you got here. What did you do?
I went back down South Georgia. I mean, not South Georgia. I went back down just to Georgia, to Atlanta. And I pretty much went on a food tour. So I ate a lot of little Southern food that I got. I had family come over Saturday. We watched Georgia lose, sad. But we watched that and pretty much just chilled around with family, friends, and all that stuff, and just enjoyed some food.
Jared?
Yeah, does I imagine that family comes up. Does like grandma, grandpa, auntie?
I got grandma.
I know they come up and make the food for you. Do they not make leftovers?
You know what I'm saying? That was for sure leftovers, but I even ate that on Sunday before I even came back.
Okay.
So I ran through about 4 or 5 plates just on Saturday alone, because I had ribs, I had pork chops, I had so many little different things. It pretty much was my early Thanksgiving food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The comforts of home, man, right? That's what it is.
Man, it was just the beauty of it. Just feel good.
I imagine that they'll mail some stuff too, right?
I wish, but I wish, but they always love to play around.
Okay.
They just love to send me pictures of whenever they cooking, so they like to tease me.
You're gonna have to tell Goody, like Ron Wolf back in the day, like with Reggie and some of those guys. Hey, man, bring that up from Milwaukee and Chicago twice a week or whatever.
Man, that would be so
You could be the guy. You could be the caterer.
You
just make them pay. You don't have to pay for it though. Make
that's
them pay
that's
for
how
it.
about it. From Milwaukee to Chicago, that's some chicken.
All right. Before we talk about the Bears and everything that's going on, you say going back to Georgia. You're from Atlanta, but right now, when you look at this roster, Crimson Tide, Georgia Bulldogs, Alabama. I mean, it is insane how many dudes that you guys all played against each other in high school, in college, 4 or 5 years. I mean, it's amazing how many guys on this roster are from that area.
Facts, like we got a lot of little people from the South to where like we always bond. So like we always make jokes to where like only people from the South would get or something and all this stuff. So like it's like a little relationship like that's even bigger,
right?
And all this stuff. So it's different.
Tell us something. Tell us a joke or tell us something that is frame of reference that if you're not from Alabama or Georgia and you're just some dude from Wisconsin, you have no idea, and we'd go, what?
From the start, I recently heard that people up north don't know what like really like fish and grits is. Like I mean like pretty much down south we do like shrimp and grits and all that stuff. People from up north don't really like from what I heard don't really do that, or just like from music taste where like we'll play some songs that we grew up on back in the day, and then people up north be like, what the heck is this? Like that, and we be like, man, nah, like this is an anthem down south and all that stuff. So it's like different little jokes like that that just come across.
Well, he's lived here for a long time, so the shrimp and grits thing is pretty much what we call meat and potatoes, right? Like just a different version. But it's it's a transition, and having that little bit of home makes life easier when you're living somewhere else, doesn't it?
Yeah, true. Because when I came up here, I ain't know what cheese curd was, and then now I'm pretty much addicted to it. So like now I'm looking for it at pretty much any little restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just kind of different.
Cheese curds. Everyone's addicted to cheese curds in Wisconsin. Just so you know, you got to send that back home for Christmas, right?
Man, my people come over here and they love it too. So it's just like pretty much like hey, you'll find different little food and you enjoy it.
Yeah. How do you feel? And you know what? I ask sincerely because you came back from one of the worst injuries, double injuries, that anybody's had in as long as I can remember. It's been a long road back, and it's great to see you doing it. How are you feeling? And do you feel like your game is finally getting back to what it was?
Yeah, like it's been a process for sure, but just I finally getting back comfortable, getting back feeling good, foot feeling good and all stuff because, like you said, my injury was something serious, but whatever. But everything been going good, feeling great. Just continue working day by day.
Yeah. So Stokes, I played your position and understanding that, okay, now you've really you're back on the field, you're healthy, halfway, right? It's a halfway point. What are you looking forward to most now that you're back in shape, you're back on the field, and you're doing what you love to do?
Man, I'm just back ready to make plays with the team. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, just being out there with the team, making plays, having fun with the guys, because ain't nothing like being out there, like as you know, like as the lights come on, all this stuff, there ain't no better feeling just being out there on the field with your brothers that y'all done worked all week for and all that stuff. So just getting back to that point, because again, I was on the sideline for a minute, so just like the point of just missing all the little smaller things, the crowd, or just going on the road, people booing you and all that stuff, like it gives you a different vibe and all that stuff. So it's unbelievable.
So talk to the audience about like the mindset you had to keep during that point where you were hurt. Like what is that mindset, like what type of challenges did you, or what kept you engaged? I imagine your teammates.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Motivating you, your family members to support. What else kept you engaged in that?
Man, just like pretty much the smaller things. When you come out there for a game and like the defense are getting call outs and stuff, and then they call you out and you knowing like, man, what, like, I'm supposed to be out there and all that stuff and all that. So it's like that little stuff get you itching, get you ready to really come back, just keep you motivated throughout everything. And then just making plays to like you hear the crowd, you hear everything and all that stuff. Like it's just so much. So like me, I love being on the road. So I love going in a place and we try to make that completely quiet and all that stuff. And like you from the start, it's just all the little small little feels that you get beforehand. It's just different. Like on the bus drive, you go into a new city, a new little thing. It's just unbelievable to where when you get back, like that's the only thing that you really miss. Is just like, yeah, I miss all that feeling.
Yeah. Well, look, and you realize and you know this is a business. I mean, it's still football. It's still a sport. Everybody loves it. We started as kids and we all played it. But when a guy like Preston Smith gets traded, there might be a little bit of like, why? You've got so many good young defensive linemen. We understand that it's a business move. We can talk 1.2 million, 12 million next year. Like, we all know this. But he was one of those, I feel like, a glue guy. Do you feel the same way? Because when we talk to the defensive players, they're like, man, love him. I'm glad he's on a good team, right? What was your relationship with Preston like? How was he as a leader? And how much did he influence a lot of you defensive guys? Because it feels like he did have a pretty good presence about him.
Man, Preston, I like to call him P. P, man, like he just anybody know, like I ain't never seen a bad day out of P. Like I ain't never seen P not smile, not make a joke, not do anything. Like P was that person in the locker rooms where he jokes around 24/7. Like one of the biggest, like pretty much he may was the oldest one in the locker room. Like we all call him Unc, but he was hands down one of the most goofiest, funniest person in that locker room. Yeah. Like he connected with everybody and all that stuff. And like just dealing with Preston, like he's my down south boy. So like we all Georgia boys. So we got a group chat and all that stuff called Georgia Boys. And it's just we always talking in there, and it just was like, dang, man, that's crazy.
I love the fact that he was from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Yeah. Like just that right there just tells everything you need to know about the man. All right, when we come back, we'll have plenty more with Packers defensive back Eric Stokes coming up on Locker Room after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Locker Room. One of our loyal fans, Larry. That's not him. He's okay. He's back.
There he is.
He had hip replacement surgery, but they put a little skeleton in his place a couple weeks ago for our Halloween show. You gotta love these guys.
Yeah,
you know what? They've been with us forever, since the beginning.
Right.
Tom's been here for over 30 years. These guys have been coming to this show, win, lose, or draw. Let's talk about those Bears for a moment. You guys licking your chops on defense. They fired their OC. They've lost 3 straight. They've only scored 27 points. I mean, Caleb Williams, nice ball player. However, he's a rookie, and as a defensive guy, you kind of like that, right?
Oh, yeah, but at the end of the day, like, we know coming in, like, it's Bears versus Packers. Like, at the end of the day, like, nobody can get it confused. It's like, at the end of the day, this is a deep rivalry. They don't like us, we don't like it. Like, it's pretty much like that. So, like, we already know coming in this mindset, no matter what their record shows, like, they go outperform everything.
It's a divisional game, and it's going to matter in the end down the road because that's what happens with the division standings. Who wins the division gets to automatically host a home game. So if you don't, and if you end up winning this division, depending on what happens in the East there, you might get that number one seed. So there's still plenty at stake, and the second half really starts with the Bears on the road. All right, it is time now to go in the zone with Cameron Azair, presented by Oneida Nation and Thornberry Creek.
Well, Burke, to get in the zone, you got to be on the field, right? Well, in most cases, but the Packers benefited just as much from their bye last week, coming off that loss to the Lions, and now prepping for another divisional foe, the Bears on Sunday, a game that Green Bay feels more than ready for thanks to that much-needed week off.
It's been a long, 9 weeks? So, I mean, that week off, it definitely helped us just as far as energy-wise and just coming back in here and just being back ready to work, you know what I'm saying? So, guys are excited. We had a really good day of practice, had great energy out there and all that kind of stuff. So, that's the main focus is just finding one thing to get better at and just getting better at that.
It's a great reset, mentally, physically, spiritually, guys be able to get back, watch, the first 9 games that we put on tape this season, understanding things that we're giving away. Basically just a recheck, man. Just reset everything. See what we've been doing good. See what we've been doing bad. See self. As a player, what you need to improve on to help this team go as far as we want to do. But bye week is just a nice reset for the team.
It came at perfect timing. I've been pretty good. I've been pretty good all year. This is probably the best my body felt in the season. I cannot complain at all. But the bye week is definitely good for your legs. Your legs start to get a little heavy towards the midway through the season, and it allows you to get that second win, that second spark. So it's been good for me.
Well, if you remember a season ago, the Packers, they lost 2 consecutive after the bye week. Definitely something that this team wants to correct, especially with a grueling stretch coming up, 3 games over the next 16 days. Burke?
All righty, thank you, Cam. Like you mentioned, Eric, that's a lot of football in a very short time. Now, I get it. You had the bye week off. You get to rest, relax, heal up. But how do you maintain your body over a short stretch like that?
You just still got to pretty much do some type of little activity. You still got a little workout. You still got to do something. And just make sure, you just can't completely take the whole week off. You still got to be active and still move around.
Part of life in football, right, Jared?
Yeah, for sure. Active recovery. I know my dog Flea take care of y'all. What's the best modality, or what's the best thing that he tells you guys to do?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Turn off that phone and no video games. Go to bed.
Oh, God, sleep. That's the best type of recovery out there.
So I got to try and tell my kids all the time. Shut it down. Shut it down. All right, when we come back, we'll finish up the show. We'll have our keys to the game. More with Packers defensive back Eric Stokes coming up after the break here on Locker Room. Welcome back to Locker Room. Festive crowd on the bye week with the second half of the season coming up for the green and gold. He's Packers defensive back Eric Stokes, former Super Bowl champ Jared Bush. Bears, Packers, keys to the game. He's on defense, and number 1, get to Caleb Williams. Get some pressure on the young number 1 rookie draft pick. They have struggled on offense. After that, look, get back to business when it comes to turnover ratio. Jordan Love, he's got 10 picks already. But out of your 19 takeaways, they came in the first 6 games, just 3 in the last 3. And then, you know what? Look, put some points up on the board. The Bears' defense is not great. They're not the monsters of Midway, but they're okay, right?
Yeah, they're decent.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like there's some good 3 key points for sure, especially the last one. Especially that one about taking the ball away. As a defense, overall, that's something that we definitely got to get back to. Taking the ball away, changing the momentum, just giving TM more opportunities. Because we know the more opportunities we got, it's good changes.
He's Packers defensive back Eric Stokes. Thank you, bud.
Always.
Good luck on Sunday against the Bears. For Jared Bush, I'm Burke Griffin. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Locker Room.
Thank you for watching Locker Room.